Welcome to all. In plants, the important process which is essential for sexual reproduction is called fertilization. It is the process which occurs after the pollination. Fertilization can be defined as fusion of male and female gametes to produce diploid zygote. First of all, we should know the difference between the types of fertilization, that is external fertilization, internal fertilization. External fertilization means fusion of gametes which happen outside the organism, that is outside the female organism. For example, in the case of amphibians, frogs and fishes, and in the case of lower plants like algae, the external fertilization takes place. Medium of fertilization is water. The female organism, it releases their eggs into the water, and the male organism also, it releases the sperms. So in the water itself, fusion of gametes takes place. So this kind of fertilization is called external fertilization. But in the case of higher plants and animals, there is an internal fertilization takes place. That means for fusion of gametes which takes place within the female organism itself. In this video, we are going to discuss about fertilization in higher plants, that is pre-fertilization changes and post-fertilization changes. That is events of fertilization in short, and pollen on the stigma, pollen tube in the style, entry of pollen tube into the ovule, entry of pollen tube into the embryo sac, double fertilization and triple fusion, post-fertilization changes. First, the events of fertilization. Germination of pollen to form pollen tube in the stigma. So here pollens are placed on the landing platform, which is called a stigma. So here germination of pollen and the pollen tube formation takes place. Then growth of pollen tube in the style. Then direction of pollen tube towards the micropyle of the ovule. Entry of pollen tube into the one of the synergids into the embryo sac. Then discharge of male gametes. So these are the some of the events which takes place in fertilization in short manner. So we are going to discuss about in detail. Pollen on the stigma. So in nature, on the stigma, variety of pollen grains fall on it, but all of them do not germinate. So the germination capacity of pollen, which can be facilitated by the stigmatic fluid in wet stigma and pellicle of dry stigma. So based on the secretions found in stigma, they are categorized into wet stigma and dry stigma. So in wet stigma, there is a secretions there, that is stigmatic fluid, and dry stigma, it don't have any secretions, only the outermost layer is covered, that is a tightly packed layer is present, which is called pellicle. So this too will facilitate the pollen germination, and these two also will decide the incompatibility and compatibility of pollen through the recognition rejection protein reaction. So this wet stigma and dry stigma will decide the compatible nature and incompatible nature of pollen to the stigma. Suppose if the pollen is compatible to the stigma, it can allow the germination. Suppose the pollen is incompatible, that means it is completely different from that species. So that is called as incompatibility. So it can be rejected. Suppose incompatibility is present, pollen germination does not take place. Sexual incompatibility may exist interspecific or intraspecific. Interspecific means between the members of different species. Intraspecific means between the members of their own species. So intraspecific incompatibility, it is also called as self-incompatibility. So here the self-incompatibility, the stigma of one plant, they do not allow the germination of their own pollen grain. So they are self-incompatibility. So which can allow the pollen grains of other members of the plant. So this is called as self-incompatibility. During the germination of pollen, its entire cytoplasmic content moves to the tip of the pollen tube. So here the entire cytoplasmic content such as nucleus and other cytoplasmic organelles, they are moved towards the tip. Remaining part of the pollen tube, which is occupied by a vacuole, and they are cut off by the callus plug. Callus is made up of a complex carbohydrate, so which can be given the stiffness of growing pollen tube. And the extreme tip of pollen tube appears hemispherical and transparent, so which can be viewed under the microscope. So this structure is called as cap block. Pollen tube into the style. After germination, the pollen tube enters into the style from the stigma. The growth of pollen tube in the style depends on the type of style. There are three types of style: hollow style, solid style, semi-solid style. Hollow, it is otherwise called as open style. Solid style, it is also called closed type of style. Semi-solid, it is called half closed style. So let us see the differences. Hollow style and solid style and semi-solid style. So semi-solid style, it is the intermediate between the hollow and solid type. So here the difference between hollow and solid style. Hollow style, it is a characteristic feature of monocots. Solid style, it is a characteristic feature of dicots. Hollow means it is a complete hollow canal running from the stigma to base of the ovule. But here the presence of elongated central core tissue is present. Here the canal is lined by glandular canal cells. Here central core is made up of highly specialized cells, they are called as transmitting tissue. Here glandular canal cells, it is having the sum of the secretions, that is chemical substances. It acts as to provide the nutrition as well as to control the incompatibility. So here as like that of glandular canal cells, transmitting tissue is also perform the same function. And the secretions such as carbohydrates, lipids, and some of the enzymes like esterase, acid phosphatases, they are also present. So here also these contents can be secreted by the transmitting tissue. So here it can be secreted by glandular canal cells, and here it is secreted by transmitting tissue. And hollow pollen tube grows through the hollow canal only. Here, pollen tube grows through the intercellular spaces of transmitting tissue. Next, we move on to the entry of pollen tube into the ovule. There are three types of pollen tube entry into the ovule. That is porogamy, chalosogamy, and mesogamy. Porogamy means poro refers to micropyle, because in ovule there is a minute pore which is not covered by a integuments. That region is called as micropyle. So pollen tube enter into the through the micropyle region, it is called as porogamy. Pollen tube through the chalaza region, it is called as chalosogamy. Here the pollen tube enter into the ovule through the middle part of the ovule. Pollen tube enter into the middle part of the ovule, that is integuments. So through the integuments pollen tube enter into the ovule. It is called mesogamy. So there are three different types of pollen tube entry into the ovule itself. It is not enter into the embryo sac. So here the pollen tube entry into the ovule. Either it is enter through the micropyle region or chalaza region or integuments region. So based on that it can be divided into porogamy, chalasogamy and mesogamy. Next we move on to the entry of pollen tube into the embryo sac. Pollen tube enters the embryo sac at the micropylar end. So here it is the micropylar end and directly into the one of the synergids. Why the pollen tube enter into the micropylar end? Because the egg apparatus pretty much to the micropylar end, so that it is very easy to disperse the male gametes towards the egg cells. So that's why it can be entered through the micropylar end region, and first it can be entered into the synergids. Before that, the pollen tube enters into the ovary locule, where it is guided towards the micropyle of the ovule by a structure is called obturator. Obturator means it is a special kind of tissue which originated from different regions of the ovule. For example, either it can be arised from placenta or funiculus or style or ovary wall. So it is a special kind of tissue. It can be guide the pollen tube towards the micropyle region. Next, the important process, double fertilization. So this phenomenon was explained by Navashkin and Ginot in the year 1898 and 1899. It was first observed in the plant Lilium as well as Fritillarium. So double fertilization means two fertilization happens simultaneously from two male gametes. So here the two actions, that is syngamy and triple fusion. So here in pollen tube there are two male gametes are present. One of the male gamete, it fuses with the egg cell to form zygote. It is the process is called syngamy. And another one male gamete, it fuses with the polar nuclei or secondary nucleus. So it is together to formed as a primary endosperm nucleus, which is later on formed into endosperm. So this two fertilization happens simultaneously. So the first one, it is a fusion product of male and female gamete. It is called a syngamy. And another case, that is fusion product of male gamete and polar nuclei. So this is called as triple fusion. Because secondary nucleus which has a two nucleus, that is polar nuclei, two nucleus. So that's why we call three nuclear fusion is called as triple fusion. So here the haploid nature is in syngamy, the male gamete is haploid in condition, female gamete egg cell also haploid in condition. So 2n zygote is formed. From the zygote, embryo with cotyledons are formed. And triple fusion, it is formed from male gamete plus polar nuclei. Male gamete, it is in haploid in condition. Polar nuclei having two nucleus. It is formed from upper polar nuclei and lower polar nuclei. Suppose this polar nuclei is fused, that product is called a secondary nucleus. So here three haploid set of chromosomes together fuse to form a triploidy in nature. So the first cell is called as primary endosperm nucleus, later on which can be developed into the endosperm tissue. So this endosperm, it provides the nutrients to the growing embryo. Next, post-fertilization structure and events. So here a mature flower, after pollination fertilization is completely over, all the parts, all the floral parts except ovary, all are shriveling and withering. Shriveling means they become small as well as dry. And after withering, Ovary only develops into fruit. Inside the fruit, seeds are present. So these seeds which are developed from fertilized to ovule. So this seeds having the two cotyledons. Suppose in the case of dicot plant, it has a two cotyledon and an embryonal axis. So this two cotyledon and embryonal axis which are formed from this embryo. And the endosperm is a nutrient tissue which provide the nutrient up to the development of complete embryo. After the seed germination, a plant will formed. And the parts before fertilization, after fertilization. Sepals, petals, stamen, style, stigma. These are all usually wither and fall off. Ovary becomes fruit. Ovule becomes seed. Egg becomes zygote. Funicle becomes stalk of the seed. Micropyle of ovule become micropyle of seed. So it facilitates the respiration as well as water uptake. Nucellus become perisperm. Outer integument of ovule become testa, which is outer seed coat. Inner integument become tegmen, which is inner seed coat. Synergid cells degenerate. Antipodal cells degenerate. But secondary nucleus after fertilization to form a nutrient tissue that is called as endosperm. So in plant the endosperm is the only tissue. It is of triploid in condition, that is 3n in condition. 3 set of chromosomes are present. So the triploid nature of tissue, it is only in endosperm. Now we move on to the question discussion. The endosperm in angiosperms are formed. The endosperm of angiosperms which are formed after the fertilization, before the fertilization, along the fertilization, before pollen discharge. So in angiosperms it is formed after the fertilization. But in the case of gymnosperms, it is formed before the fertilization. So that's why in gymnosperm the endosperm nature is haploid. But in the case of here angiosperm, after fertilization only endosperms are formed. So it is a triploid in nature. The next question is, if the number of chromosome of endosperm of dicot plant is 36, the root cells will contain how many chromosomes? Here the endosperm of dicot plant 36. So the nature, ploidy nature of endosperm is 3n. So here the solution is 3n. 3n equal to 36. So then we find n equal to 36 by 3, 12. N equal to 12. In the question to be asked, the root cells will contain. The root cells in plant, root, stem, leaf and floral parts such as calyx, corolla, style and stigma, ovary wall layers, integuments, nucellus. So these are all diploid in condition. Except synergids, excel, antipodals. These are only haploid in condition. Endosperms are triploid in condition. So here the root cells will contain, root cells, their ploidy nature is diploid. So 2n equal to 24. So here the answer is 24 chromosomes. Next question, if angiospermic male plant is diploid and female plant is tetraploid, the ploidy level of endosperm will be. So here the male plant is normal diploid, automatically the gametes also become haploid. But the female plant is tetraploid. So here we can be calculate, suppose plant is tetraploid, the gametes become diploid. So here the solution is male gametes are haploid because male plant is diploid. Female plant is tetraploid, that is 4 set of chromosomes are present. So automatically XL has diploid and their polar nuclei has 2x plus 2x, that is it is upper polar nuclei and lower polar nuclei. So here the question to be asked, ploidy level of endosperm will be. Endosperm means it is a fusion product of polar nuclei and male gametes. So X plus this 4X. Totally we calculate 5X. That is answer is pentaploid. And move on to the next question. What would be the number of chromosomes in the cells of hyaluron layer in a plant species with 8 chromosomes in its synergids? Here the question to be asked, what is the number of chromosomes present in the hyaluron layer? So that is to be question. So the given is in synergid the 8 chromosomes are present. That is given in the question. So in synergids are haploid in condition. So n equal to 8. So n equal to 8. And what about the hyaluron layer? Hyaluron layer is the outermost layer of endosperm which is especially present in monocotyledons. So hyaluron layer which is coming under the category of endosperm. So endosperm is a triploid in condition. So we know n is 8. So we can be calculate 3n equal to 24. So here the answer is 24. I hope all of you learn well. Thank you. Have a nice day.